Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to our Women Crush Wednesday, the only all-female show that we've got. It is Amber and RC today here for our wonderful, wonderful show. We've got a wonderful guest lined up, don't we, RC?
Yes, we do.
Continuing our journey, aren't we, RC?
That's right. We're on
That
our way
is
up.
wonderful. I'm loving it. Loving it. This is the A-Team. Amanda has been indisposed for this evening's events, and that is okay because we've got the other 2/3 of this wonderful trio sitting here, and we got a lot to talk about, man. We've had draft, we've had cuts, we've had a journey that we're going to continue following up with, and some other exciting news, going all around the UFL. How you been, RC?
Oh, I've been doing pretty good. And just here enjoying the weather, a little bit of rain. So how about you? How are things in Houston?
Man, we barely missed the rain. I was at the Texans training camp today. Lots and lots of
Ooh.
fun. So that was a great VIP experience. We got to meet a lot of the players, see a lot of the action, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they got to bring and hopefully seeing some of our UFL players get up to that level.
There you go. That's what we want. That's why we're here.
That's what it's all about, guys. So, give us a little bit of a backstory on what's going on for today with our guests.
Well, I know that we last week we talked about Trey or Latravius Kingsland, and I met him here in San Antonio. He's working with ETA, which is Elite Training Academy, and they do some golf lessons there and some training. And he mentioned that he loves football and he was wanting to try out for the UFL. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a perfect timing. I was like, I do a podcast for the UFL. So I talked to him. I talked to his mom, his aunt, his mom's fiance, and we just connected. And then last week they came on and they were talking about his journey, him growing up in Alaska, him going to college. Talked about that he had an event a while back that he did have like a pro tryout. Didn't continue with that, but he was there. And so we're just really trying to follow his journey. He has like one more week until his tryouts in Houston. And so we're excited. We're just excited to get to know him, getting excited to support him, and wishing him all the best.
That's right. He is one of the very, very many athletes that may not have made a draft, may not have gotten up to the NFL, but are still looking for that shot, wanting to take that chance, get that opportunity, and get into the UFL so they can show what they've got and hopefully make a career out of what their dreams are. And I think that that's
true.
amazing. Commend them for it. Commend the families for supporting such a dream. It's a great journey, and hopefully we've got him. Is he close by? Do we know? We do have him close by. Mr. Kingsland, how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Happy to have you back on the show again.
Glad to be back.
Wanting to take a little bit of a deeper dive into your journey here. We know that you've been doing some exceptional work. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been training for the past, honestly, since after my pro day and I got back to Texas. I've been training. And then once I found out about the showcase, I've been training a little bit more. Like I told you guys last week, I've been training with Coach Andy for about almost close to like 4 or 5 years now. And so, like I said, he knows my body the best. He knows how my body adapts to certain types of training, whether it be like isometric phases, concentric phases, eccentric phases, things like that. And so we're going through a little cycle right now. It's about week 10 of it. So we did an eccentric phase and then we did an isometric phase. Right now we're just deloading and getting ready for Sunday.
I know you say these phases, but can you explain that just a little bit for the person who doesn't work out ever?
Yes, ma'am. So like isometrics, that's when you're like, you have the weight, you pause at the bottom for a certain amount of seconds. So like the last week it was the least amount of reps. So probably like 2 to 3 reps, and you're holding the weight down for about 5 seconds, time under tension. Then you go back up, then you do another rep, 5 seconds, come back up. Things like that. Concentric, that's just moving the weight, and then eccentric is just holding it at the top. So they're just different phases where you have the weights at different levels. So obviously holding it at the top or holding it at the bottom or just moving the weight up and down.
And how much weight are you talking about? Like 5 pounds or 3 pounds?
I lift pretty heavy. I've done like 335 on bench twice.
300?
Yeah, 335 pounds.
Oh
Now
my.
remind us, Trey, how much do you weigh?
On a good day, 200 pounds.
So you're doing 30 to 33% above your body weight.
Yes, ma'am.
That is phenomenal.
Squats
That's
somewhere like in the
insane to me.
400s. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the squat weight?
I mean, squat. So the most we've done is like, so we do something that's called like a pin press squat, and it's where you have the bar sitting on the safety rack. You don't do a full squat. You do it from like half quarter squat. We've gone up to like 4 plates. I've squatted 4 plates, like just regular squat. When we did some time under tension, I was like 335. I've done 335, held it down at the bottom for like 3 seconds. I've always been kind of strong. It's just something that our high school, like, we had a pretty strenuous weight program. And so, like, just even going into college and some of the colleges I've gone, like, they're just like, bro, you're just strong as ox. You just got to get you more flexible, more mobile, things like that.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, does that increase in strength kind of limit the mobility? Or are you starting to work on that?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's better. So I think a lot of people think, like, in order to increase mobility, like, you need to stretch and things like that. I think sometimes people are less mobile because they're not stable in certain areas, for instance. So, like, I wasn't really good at hinging my hips and things like that because I lack some core strength. So, like, that's something that we've worked on a lot since I've been back training with Coach Andy. And so I don't think it takes away from it. I just think you have to find a time and place for both. Because I think some people just focus on one or the other. You kind of need all of it to be successful, especially with being someone who's had some injuries and things like that. You got to find the best ways to take care of your body. And so, yeah.
Definitely a good balance. So I know that we had a couple of videos. This is that squat that you were talking about here. Sorry if the quality is not the highest for our viewers, but, you know, we're looking at the form. Is that Coach Andy right there behind you there?
Yes, ma'am.
I love the fact that he's there making sure that you're supported and that he's able to assist you if anything were to go wrong. So safety is paramount. Please remember, always have a spotter when you're lifting weights, especially this kind of weight.
Right. That's not something that I could just go out and do right now. So if you get any crazy ideas, don't do it. It's by a professional.
Come on, I'll spot you.
You think so?
Start small. And
I got some guns. I do bowling. You see that? You see that movement? Hey, let me see your guns, Trey.
We're not doing that.
You see mine? You did see a move though, right? I bowl. My ball is like 10 pounds, but I'm pretty good for a 55-year-old, right? So
that's good. That's good. So what about that bench press? You were speaking on that one earlier, and I noticed that you had those feet pushing up some. Does that help or hurt the lower back when you're doing that bench press?
Honestly, I think it helps. So, like, something we talk about all the time, especially with our athletes that we train with, is that, I mean, the bench is like a movement that you could compare, honestly, to a shoulder press. Obviously, just from a laying down position. And so sometimes it can put strain in your back if you don't know how to arch your lower back properly. If you don't know how to brace your core, obviously, get your shoulder blades back on the bench, obviously, to drive your legs. If it's not something that you've worked on doing, I think it's something that could put some strain on your lower back. Obviously, it's something that we've worked on, especially like I told you, with us working on my core. So, and being able to obviously drive your legs and just be more explosive, moving the weight, things like that. And so for me, I think it just depends on the person, obviously, who's teaching you like proper technique when it comes to bench. If they're working on accessory like exercises with certain body parts, that is going to help you be able to lift those kind of weights. But I mean, for me, I think it's helped me honestly more because I used to be somebody that used to bench like flat back, no legs, and just testing, I didn't really see any gains in my bench. I felt like I hit like a plateau, and so just learning how to be more efficient through the movement and obviously use other parts of the body that most people don't think about that you should use during the bench press.
Gotcha. So when you're holding that bar, are you actually shoulder width, or are you trying to widen it out a little bit more?
It just depends on what phase we're in. So we do some neutral grip dumbbell stuff, and so like if we're gonna do that, I try to go wider, obviously, because you're working on different muscles,
right?
Based on where you have the bar. I mean, I used to be somebody that would only do close grip bench press, like regardless of what we were doing, I was only like right here just benching. And so I mean, but it's a lot. It was putting a lot of strain on my shoulders, and things like that. So, and obviously your triceps. So you're not really working the full chest muscle. And so obviously I've tried to get my hands a little wider, just work on more building muscle. And obviously I was trying to put on weight and I was trying to put on muscle. So that's why I bench the way I do.
And I also noticed that
video.
Yeah, that's that bench right there. So you'll see that you've got that lift going on, which I think is good because it's increasing your leverage and also improving the core like you're speaking on. Are you throwing a weight belt on when you're doing this?
No, man, I don't. I think one of the reasons why people put weight belts on is like sometimes, like I said, like if you don't know how to brace or like obviously if you have lower back problems and things like that, you need that. But if you are somebody that's young like me, you can like work on those areas.
Yeah, rub it in. I need a weight belt. I see how it is. No, I think it's phenomenal, but I know that there's definitely a lot more than just the lifting of weights and stretching. You've got to work on things like reach and jump. I saw you did a standing jump.
Yes, I love
what do you think of that, RC? That was your favorite, right?
Yeah, that was my favorite. I don't know how you go from the ground all the way up. Well, this one, look at that.
Look at that spring, guys. That's amazing. What height did you hit on that?
I hit 36.
Nice. That is phenomenal.
When you're going to the tryouts this weekend, what number do you think they're looking for?
I don't know if the UFL does vert. I think it's something they've gone away from. So like we do something that's called force decks, which I know is something they did at their combine. I'm not sure how they'll do it at the showcases. But I would imagine if obviously someone that's playing anywhere between defensive back, you want to get over 34, 35. 36 range, obviously, especially when you translate your vert, obviously, to speed, you're jumping 35, 36. I think you're feeling pretty confident about what you're going to run in the 40.
How high can you jump, Amber?
Does 3.6 count?
Does this count? That's a much. I don't know. Is that an inch, 2 inches? That's all I can do.
I probably got maybe a 24 on a good day.
Okay, well,
I mean,
know who
when
the athlete is, it's not me.
I jumped out, not up. I did long jump. I didn't do high jump.
What do you call that one jump where you're standing still and it looks like, Trey, you're jumping like on almost like half a building. It's like you look like a superhero. What's that?
Where you're jumping on the boxes, the platform jump?
Yes.
Yeah. What is that officially called, Trey?
Was it the 2 plates that were on the bottom sitting under my feet?
I think so.
Yeah, so those are called the force decks. Oh, no, so you guys are talking about the box jump?
That one, oh my God.
Box jump.
So yeah, it's a seated box jump.
From a seated position, guys.
How do you do that?
Coach Andy.
That's just spring loaded. That is wild.
It's almost like you're a superhero because I see that in the movies.
I love it. So
I've seen people do it standing, but never sitting.
Never sitting, right. And I'm sitting there, and as I'm watching this, I'm like, those calf muscles are just flexing. So what does this actually work for you? How does this help you on the field?
Honestly, for me, I've learned, especially so if you can see the weight, obviously that's on the other side. That's when we were doing some pin press stuff.
Right.
So being explosive, obviously you use some of your arms, but when you're in that seated position, you really have to use your legs. Versus when you're in a standing position, you can use so many different factors in your upper body to help, obviously, with the jump. when you're seated like this, you literally have to like explode through the legs and honestly be more powerful. And so like it's really a test for us to see how much more explosive I'm being just through my legs on the way up. I mean, if you look, most people like rock back and things like that. Just being able to drop your arms and jump straight forward.
Right.
To me, a pretty accurate depiction on, like I said, how powerful I'm being through the legs. And like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to jumping, if I'm jumping pretty high, I'm feeling pretty good about how I run. And so for me, that's just all it is especially because getting out of that start position, being able to explode off of both legs. I know some people think when you're about to run the 40, it's just front leg loaded and you're trying to get that leg being explosive through that as much as possible. But if you can shoot off both legs, you're giving yourself a better chance to run faster. And so that's honestly what it is. We just use a lot of vertical training for our speed stuff.
That's amazing. And I mean, I'm not discrediting the arms because you definitely have the arms, but the fact that your knees are touching your arms in the air while you're doing this just shows an absolute control of your body and awareness of it, and just the explosion, like you're saying. I mean, you're able to control it all, and those arms definitely play an important part of it. That's pretty amazing. Coach Andy must be extremely proud with the results you're getting.
And I think the key thing is also your balance. I mean, you were able to get up there, but you were able to control all of your muscles, you know, your balance. I think that's also key because that's very important when it comes to playing football.
Yes, ma'am.
That's pretty amazing,
Tell us a bit
man.
more about Coach Andy and the things that you've been doing with him.
I mean, so like when I originally met Coach Andy, he had done an internship in about 2014. He was in California and he was working with like the likes of like Carson Palmer, Darren Sproles, Brandon Cooks, Richard Sherman, people like that. And so when I got in contact with him, and I learned that like I just wanted to obviously soak in as much knowledge as I can because obviously those people play at the level that I desire to play at. So just training with Coach Andy, like I said, I've been training with him since COVID. So we've done cycles like this before where we've gotten results. And so just being able to sustain those results over the years has been something that is pretty amazing to me because obviously most of the time when people age, like I'm young, but I'm not the youngest in the bunch, especially when it comes to football. When you're getting older, you're able to sustain and not only sustain, but also see gains. You're working with someone that knows exactly what they're doing. Like I told Miss RC earlier, when I trained for Pro Day, I didn't get the chance to train with Coach Andy because obviously I signed with the agent. And so when you do things like that, they have places that they want you to go and where they want you to train. And so I trained somewhere else. And just having the opportunity to work with someone that I know and that I trust and being able to showcase obviously what I think not only I can do, but what he can do. I think it's a great platform for the both of us.
Definitely. Do you think you see yourself bringing Coach Andy along with you for the ride?
Oh yeah, he'll be with me. He'll be the one driving.
That's gonna be one of those contract requirements, huh?
Nah, I mean I'm grateful. He offered to obviously drive me down there, so I don't have to do the drive by myself or stay extra night, things like that. So I'm very grateful for that. Like I told you guys last week, it's good to have people in my corner like I do. Someone who's willing to take time out of their Sunday, especially when we have to work on Monday.
Right.
Go out there and do something like that. I mean, it means a lot to me. It's a little fuel to the fire, perform a little better.
That's good.
Amber, are you going to be out there on Sunday for the showcase?
I am going to be out there on Sunday for the showcase. Yeah, you're going to see Mr. and Mrs. Predator out there.
Behind you.
Yeah, we're going to be there. We'll be in your corner. You'll see a happy poster saying "Go Trey Go."
I appreciate that.
See if I can get Coach CJ to take a special look at you as well. Be like, just so you know, I've seen some videos of his. You're welcome to look at them.
That's right.
Yes, man.
And we know his mama, so that counts for something too.
True. Now, at the end of the day, though, I know that the goal ultimately is to get to the highest level and peak performance. If the the dream has been achieved, what do you think you're going to get the most out of it?
Honestly, for me, it just gives me obviously an opportunity to encourage other people from where I'm from. It gives those kids a little bit more motivation. Obviously, we have somebody that's already in the NFL right now. Brandon Peely, he plays for the Miami Dolphins. Um, and so the more that we get, obviously, the more it becomes prevalent to those kids that like it's something that you can do. Because right now, obviously, only having one, and we have one like every 8 years, 9 years. To them it looks like luck. To them it looks like, oh, it happens by chance, or to them it happens like, oh, I might be that one maybe. It's something that you work towards and you become more consistent in it. And you let these kids know like you can take the long route, you can go the small school route, you can do whatever it is you want to do as long as you continue to work. You can make it happen, and then you're just paving the way for the next generation. I mean, I think for us as athletes, especially from Alaska, as long as we don't give up and we continue to work, we're just creating more avenues for the next generation. I mean, even if it doesn't happen for us, like just us putting ourselves out there and letting people know there's talent up there. I mean, people are going to go look. Eventually, people are going to go look.
For
So
sure, for sure.
obviously, that's the biggest thing. Another big thing for me is just being able to take care of my family. I'm a big family person, and so me having the outlets and the avenues to put some people in my family in certain positions, that would mean a lot to me. And then, I mean, just me being a kid wanting to make the NFL, like it just, I know I'll feel the satisfaction of being exactly where it is I want to go. And honestly, my goal when I was a kid was just to be a professional athlete. So even the UFL, I know that to me, that would be an accomplishment in and of itself. And so, I mean, just those three things alone. And honestly, just being able to spread my faith, allowing people to know that if you believe in God and you stay the course, you stay faithful, you pray all the time, you just do the right thing. You just treat people with respect. God will bless you eventually. It might not come exactly when you want it, but honestly, it always comes on time. That's something that I was always taught in church. God might not show up when you want him, but he always shows up on time. And so for me, just being able to take care of my family, encourage the next generation, and share my faith with the world on the biggest platform there is. That's all for me.
Nice. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving
Well, I
it.
will say, Trey, just meeting you and your family has already been a blessing to me. I know it's all about timing and it's God's timing, right? Not necessarily ours. So I'm thankful for that. That whatever comes out of this, at least I feel like, I've met someone who's a good role model that I can continue to brag on, and your aunt. So I'm feel already blessed by you in meeting your family.
Thank you.
Nice. Speaking of, is Mrs. Kingland there?
No, she's not. She's actually feeling a little bit under the weather.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry to hear that. Tell mom to feel better soon, and we'll save her a seat for when she gets in to see her baby play in the UFL. Because I'm pretty sure you've got what it takes to get picked up, and I'm hoping to see you on one of these teams. I don't care which team it is. I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
I
I care. I
do.
want him on the Brahmas.
Well, yeah, it would be nice if it's somewhere local, but ultimately the dream is to land this plane first and
Anywhere.
then focus on the next runway, and I get that. I get that. I really do. So besides the training, the intense training, I know that there's nutrition that gets involved. Are there other avenues like media presence, public speaking, presentation, that kind of stuff that you're having to focus on in your journey?
I mean, just for me, I mean, I've known that I want to, like, coaching is something that I want to do when I get done. And so right now, like I mentioned before, I work at Elite Training Academy as well. So like I work in the morning, then I work out in the afternoon. And so we work with athletes from middle school all the way up to, some of them are obviously adults. And just being able to give back. I mean, people obviously they soak in some of the knowledge from me because they see me as somebody that is pushing towards their goal and has been pretty successful at it, even though obviously I'm not exactly where I would want to be. To them, just being able to be someone who's gone to college, get a degree, and still continue to push. I mean, obviously that motivates them. And so when it comes to just making an impact and just being there for young kids, not just giving them a workout, but just giving them bits and pieces that I've learned throughout the years and just showing them, like, I mean, some kids think that they're 16 years old and they have the whole world waiting on them. and time is not ticking. And so just being somebody that could let him know, like, stuff doesn't wait around for you. Sometimes in life, you gotta go get it and you gotta figure it out. And Coach Andy, he's a little lighthearted and I'm a little more tough skin, tough nose. And so just having that balance in the facility, and that's just the way I want to give back. Is just encouraging, like I say all the time, encouraging the next generation, being around kids. I mean, I love it because when I was a kid, I didn't really have that. I had adults in my corner, but not really people that were sports related, like pouring into me and pushing me to do the things that I wanted to do. And so I know how impactful it could be just because I know what it would have done for me. And so just being able to do things like that. I mean, I live in San Antonio, but I'm not a San Antonio kid. I'm Alaska through and through. And so obviously I always reach out to kids, obviously, that are in Alaska that go to my high school that are trying to pursue college opportunities and just let them know, like, my phone is full of college coaches. And I've created a lot of relationships with the coaches to where even if I didn't go to their school, I was pretty well connected with them. And so if I text them, obviously they'll take a look at it. I can't promise you anything, but I know for sure they'll look at it and they'll respond to me. And so just things like that. Just reaching out to people, letting them know I'm there. I'm a resource, whatever it is that they need. And then obviously, like I said, just helping Coach Andy in any way possible. Because like I said, I want his business to grow. I mean, I think he's one of the best. Obviously, he limits himself to golf. So, I mean, it's hard because I know some football players that would probably love to train with him. But just him pouring into a community where, I mean, golf is growing out here. And so just me being able to help him, obviously it allows me to learn a little bit more about strength and conditioning as well, because that's what I do. And so just showing kids, I mean, you can do anything you put your mind to. I mean, I didn't think I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and teach 5:30, 6:30 strength and conditioning classes. But I mean, here I am. I mean, so, and I'm pretty good at it. And so, I mean, just for me, that's just how I connect with the community. And that's some of the things I do. I mean, outside of football, other than obviously spending time with my family.
Nice. I'm just completely in awe of the amount of energy and time that you're putting towards this goal, and surprised every week watching and listening and learning so much more about you. And I mean, if we can see this goal achieved, it would be amazing for us to go, yeah, we were there from the beginning and we watched our little boy grow up.
Yes, man.
And it feels so good that you're very dedicated and you're passionate, but you're not selfish. And you continue to give back to the kids, to the community, to your trainer, to the people who have given you your roots, like giving back to being a good role model to those back in Alaska. So I love that about you, that you're not selfish. And you sometimes you see that and you exhibit such great qualities of a leader already. And so just know that we're wishing you the best. And, you know, if we could check that mark saying you're in, we would do it. Believe me, we would do it because we just love really meeting you and the kind of man that you are and the role model and the athlete, and your passion and your faith really comes through. And I hope everyone who's watching and who's listening, that they can also see that too. So just know that, you know, hold your head up a little bit higher because we all do believe in you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You got a whole group cheering you on, man, cheering you on. So, have you been studying any of the recent events going on in the UFL since you're getting ready to try out?
I mean, I seen Houston basically dump their whole team and then brought a little, then brought a little bit more.
It's really upset about this.
Obviously, I've seen some moves that San Antonio's made. I saw that they picked up a Division II corner, small school guy. And then I've seen, obviously, a lot. You see these UFL guys are getting late invites to NFL training camps, which is good for people it's good for the UFL because then you'll probably get more players who see it as a more legit option.
Yeah,
so I know a lot of people have their question marks about it, even though it's pretty prominent. Obviously, it's on TV, but people do be like, is that something that I really want to do? Is it something that's really worth it? And so, I mean, especially when you have to pay to go to these showcases and things like that, you're trying to figure out if it's worth it. I think just seeing some of the news and obviously seeing the guys that are moving on, I think you figure out pretty quickly that the UFL is pretty legit.
It's getting there. That's what we're hoping for. I mean, we're coming into our second season, so I mean, ground floor, and it's chugging along. I think that there's definitely some opportunity to utilize the UFL to achieve the dreams for those that really want to get to that next level. And hopefully, you know, one of the good things coming out of the dismantling of some of the teams is that our coaching staff has the opportunity to take a look at players such as yourself, you know, players that are coming out of other locations and say, hey, this might work with what I'm trying to build here. Let's get this person in here. And so that's why I've got a rather strong feeling that you're going to be a fellow roughneck. So I'm looking forward to what you have to show off and to share with everybody. And hey, if it doesn't happen, when I see you, I'll see you.
Yes, man.
And I'll be getting that picture and I'll be getting that autograph because I see you going places. You definitely are one to watch for sure. RC, do you have any final words for our guests? I don't want to keep Trey on forever.
Right. I was just going to say, Trey, you may not know about this, about Amber, but there was a rumor last season that there was not going to be a Roughneck team in Houston. And she started a petition.
Oh, wow.
And that is why we still have the Roughnecks in Houston. So talk about passion and desire. So this woman has taken the whole team on her back, on her shoulders, and decided to carry it. And she's gone to every single game last season. So when she says she got your back, that's huge. Just so you know.
We had a Rexrod started the petition, but we definitely pushed it around and made it happen. And lo and behold, they had a goal for us without us knowing. And we had our own goal that was a little bit higher. So we achieved it just days before they were supposed to decide between the USFL Gamblers and the XFL Roughnecks.
Oh, wow.
And so it was pretty amazing. And it was definitely one of those, we're keeping them. We love them. We've held charity events for them in our community to show these guys, hey, we mean business. We want to see you players out there in the communities as well. And I'm hoping to see that in the future because that's where my big passion is helping communities and those less fortunate and giving kids an opportunity that they normally won't have, you know, military families an opportunity that won't have. And, you know, making sure that even our animals, you know, that are within need. You know, we've got some Brahmas fans that are passionate about some animal organizations. So, you know, we partner up and help each other out once in a while. It's good networking. So let us know what your passions are off the field, and we'll definitely put it into our tailgate and get it incorporated for you. So we're cheering for you on the sidelines as well as in the communities.
Yes, man.
At the end of the day,
just good luck. Keep in touch. You know, we're sending our prayers. And you two can probably exchange numbers off the air. And I definitely know that y'all are going to meet up there in Houston this weekend. And we have a whole pack, a whole village behind you, Trey. Just know that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And I look forward to meeting you.
We're looking forward to it as well, Trey. You be safe. Hey, I want to see some videos on what you're eating. Now that we've seen what you're working out with, I mean, we want to know how you're keeping the body slim and trim internally.
I don't know if you want to see videos of me eating oatmeal and eggs.
Nah, I mean, I know there's definitely tips and tricks everywhere to be had.
Vitamins, what vitamins you take.
It's part of the journey.
Supplement.
Yes, ma'am.
It is part of the journey. So definitely keep that in mind. Trey, thank you so much for being with us again. You have a wonderful evening. And as always, amazing. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday. I'll definitely be around.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Have a great time. Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Absolutely amazing young man.
Yes, I mean, he is. Every time I talk to him, I like him more and more. He's just like a good real kid. I say kid, but he's still young. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To have
I
so
know.
much intelligence and drive and passion and the ability and willingness to give back, not only to the community, but to his family and friends back in Alaska, you know?
For sure. I think that this is going to be a great opportunity for him. I'm looking forward. I'm hoping that, us publicizing this on the Fuel Network is giving these higher ups a little bit more insight into what, some of these players, at least this individual player, has to offer.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got to do on the showcase. Hopefully,
I'm
he's got
excited.
well rested, well grouped, right mind, definitely a positive attitude. And I think there's plenty to offer in Trey Kingsland, and I'm hoping Coach CJ, if you or Miss Angel are
I'm gonna
paying
try winking
attention,
too for Coach Wade.
something needs to.
Looks like we're having seizures on online.
Right. So UFL, man,
What's
I
going
feel
on?
I feel like if the Roughnecks were a haircut, it'd have been a buzz cut at this point. They chopped it to the bones.
You're just trying to start from scratch, or what do you think their thinking is?
I'm looking forward to what Coach CJ's got. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of his vision. I know that with the merger, there was definitely some insight and from the uppers to say, hey, look, guys, this is what we're doing. We're having to structure it this way, so on and so forth. Hopefully, there's a little bit more flexibility for the coaching staff, for the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. I'm looking forward to seeing what they got. I know that here in Houston we had some issues with some players, and those players are no longer going to be on our team. And I'm hoping that it's all going to be in a more positive, upbeat, move forward kind of attitude, and hopefully towards what he wants. I know down here in Houston we're used to the run offense, but at the same time I'm looking forward. I mean, I don't know what I need to do, if I need to like light a candle or burn some sage or what, but Houston still doesn't have quarterback. It worries me, folks.
That's a problem. That's a
I'm not gonna
huge
lie.
problem.
The
Maybe
draft.
we light the candle, light the sage, do whatever we need to. We do it all. We do it all.
I know Memphis was also in the works with a couple of decent offensive players. I know that there was an offensive lineman that they were looking at. I saw St. Louis on their defense. They were looking to shake a couple of things up. I mean, I'm looking at the blogs, I'm looking at the social media. I'm trying to get some inside scoops,
Right.
but they're very, very tight-lipped, and for good
Tight
reason.
lip.
Good reason. I know it's rumored that training camp may not start until March.
That's ridiculous. No way.
I don't know,
You
guys.
need that conditioning is so important to the actual play of the risk of injury. We saw that in the first season when it started like in January, February, and the players really didn't have enough time to work on that
Right.
conditioning, you know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, not only that, but you're going to throws the regular season off into later into the summer. And if they thought the temperatures were hot down south then this past year, try pushing us into July.
Right. Can you
Playoffs
imagine?
in August? Really?
No way.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it's a rumor. I got to do a little bit more digging. Hopefully, I can find something out a little bit further down the line.
Mhm.
If it does, what do you think it means? I mean, you got a stadium.
Right.
Huh?
It's I mean, for us it's not going to make a difference because we're indoor. It's the teams that don't have the indoor field. That's going to be brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
and then you're looking also at attendance. If the players are hot, Who wants to sit out in the hot sun in June, July, August? There's other factors that you have to really look into and put into perspective. And you learn two things from every situation and every person: what to do and what not to do, right?
For real.
And summer and football, that's not a good combination, especially here in Texas. And we have three teams
Yeah.
in Texas.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be very honest. San Antonio being the only domed team in Texas,
Mhm.
we're playing on turf. So our 100-degree days are 120 easy when you're on that turf and it's reflecting back up on you. It can get to a point where there could be some health concerns
Exactly.
at this juncture. I don't know if the March training camp is concrete. I'm hoping not. I would like to see the training camp early. That way, regular season could start immediately after Super Bowl. But again,
Yes, my timing would be perfect. Right after Super Bowl is the perfect time to start. We're still falling from or on a high depending on who wins the Super Bowl, but that would be the perfect time to start is right
yeah.
after the Super Bowl. And
Well,
usually
yeah.
it's my anniversary, so it's good timing.
Nice, nice. Well, and not only that, but I think when it comes to the scheduling, they're going to have to work around the holidays. Because, I mean, if we remember this last season, we had 3 holiday weekends happen. Our opening weekend was Easter weekend, for crying out loud. I
Crazy.
mean, why? Why? Seriously, why? We had Mother's Day, of course,
Father's
Memorial Day
Day.
weekend, Father's Day. That was during the playoffs. I mean, when you're looking at it, the nuts and bolts of it, guys, I don't know. Are we looking at possible Friday night lights?
That might be a good one.
And then there's no confirmation yet on if the Roughnecks are back in the U of H stadium in the TDECU or TEDCU. Yeah,
Too
TEDCU.
many letters for me, but yes.
And there's so many acronyms. But I know that the renovations are looking great. I've got to get down there and get a video for you guys to put up here so y'all can see how that's coming along. And I got a feeling that hopefully, fingers crossed, we're back where we started. I loved Rice University. Lots of ups and downs when it came. There was no end zone seating, so our original seats in the end zone had to be moved over. The organization was amazing in the accommodations. They did the best they could to accommodate everyone as much as possible. And by doing so, it opened up both sides of the field. I know some of the teams only had one side of the field opened up as a result of all of it. But I think that they're getting the kinks worked out. All I can say is, guys, gals, be patient.
Don't give up.
Yeah, it's a learning process. There's a learning curve with it. I know season ticket sales are hopefully going in the direction we need them to go. You know, we on our sports podcasts and super fans and all of that kind of stuff, we're working as hard as we can to try to keep the interest alive. But
Right.
right now, current events are definitely not helping us.
Not at
And
all.
and we're kind of in that in between where there's no football at all. Your college football is just around the corner, folks. Let's keep an eye out because these players could potentially become UFL players.
That's true.
And then of course we got our NFL, and NFL leads into the winter time and fall ball and all of that happy jazz. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a journey, at least for the next 5 years. And
That's
this is
true.
where we're going to find out where our fans are. You got your diehards, you got your tryhards, you got your fair weathers, your bandwagons. We're going to see what all kinds of fans we've got coming around, and hopefully it does stick through. I think the marketing being upped a little bit will be a big benefit.
Yes, most definitely. But we just got to keep the faith. Sometimes that's all we need. And that's what we're going to need right now. We need not only we need football fans, right? And wouldn't it be great if we had football all year round? I know mine is the real hot months, but football year round. That sounds like music to my ears.
I'll be happy with it. I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I would love it.
I think we can do it. We can do it. But just be patient. I think that's one thing, and don't be so quick to give up. This is first was the XFL. We had the UFL. We had them combined. We're still working things out. Just be patient and continue to spread the word. I think marketing also falls on us, right? Even on the weekends, wear a shirt, wear a hat. You know what I mean? When you post pictures on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you do it, post something about football. Just keep the interest alive and make those connections. Like that's what we're trying to do with Trey Kingsland. Make those connections because once you make that connection with one player, two players, a team, a coach, you're more likely to be more faithful and connected with them. And that's really what it's
Yeah.
all about.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes for you UFL players, you staff
Mhm.
members, you coaches, all the family members. Get out there into your communities. Let them be known. Let yourselves be known. Hey, tell
Right.
us where you're volunteering. Let us come up and volunteer with you. I mean,
That's right.
I don't see it being too difficult to put 4 hours of a day together and then go to a park and have a happy little tailgate after to celebrate. I,
Mhm.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I'm not mad at that. Keep the interest alive for sure, for sure.
That's right.
How's the draft and the cuts and everything going with San Antonio?
We got some good drafts. I know that we were all excited about a UTSA player that we were able to pick up, and so that was good. Very hopeful. Hopeful would be the key word. We just need to solidify some of the main components, like the coaches, and I think we'd feel a lot more confident, to be honest.
Well, are the coaches are on 2-year contracts, right?
Well, it depends on who you ask, right? So I've heard the 2 year, then I've heard, well, just depends on league and different contracts. So, when it comes to contracts, that's all, like mud to me. I don't know because we don't know what people sign and don't sign. But I do know that the sooner we can solidify the coaching staff, offense, defense, special teams, after these showcases, I think we'll have a better idea where we're at.
For sure, for sure.
Now, I know
Um,
last time when we were talking, you had talked about bringing up like a term that you would talk about football. Do you have one this show?
oh, my corner of fun facts.
Yes, your fun fact. Do you have a fun
So,
fact for today?
one of the things I did learn, so I went to the Texans training camp today and
Okay.
got to meet the 2024 Hall of Famer Andre Johnson. Was an amazing
Ooh,
experience.
impressive.
Wonderful, wonderful young man. I got quite a few autographs and spoke to a couple of people, a couple of players. Found out, I don't know if anybody pays attention to the training camps or anything like that, but maybe every once in a while you see like a sleeve with like different square blocks over their helmets, and it makes them look like an even bigger bobblehead, right?
Okay.
Believe it or not, that is for concussion protocol.
Wow. Okay.
And it's very possible they might be introducing it at a voluntary basis for the NFL
Exciting.
to help reduce concussions. And I love knowing that safety is paramount.
Hmm.
I know it comes with a little bit of let them play kind of
Right.
thing. It is a tough sport, and we know that susceptible to injury and everything. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the players get to go home to their families and be able to have a life after football. So that was my little tidbit of trivia that I found out today. from none other than my wonderful husband and Toro. I got to meet our mascot out there for Texans. Yeah, so they're looking into possibly putting those concussion helmet pads. I don't know if Arlington's nice enough to find a picture of what I'm talking about to throw up there. We'll see. But yeah, I was like, why do they look like bigger bobbleheads? What's going on with this? What's the point behind it? Are these players that can't be touched? And then I found out, no, it's for safety reasons. And
Cool.
so, ladies, gentlemen, if you see the different designs in the helmets, it is because of padding and concussion protocol purposes. That is now the latest technology that they're putting in for player safety. So that's my little tidbit of fun, and I'm
Nice.
hoping that it becomes a happy little steadfast into the reality of football, because I don't want anyone leaving the game without
Right. And
being completely healthy.
right. Now, the showcase that they're having this weekend in Houston, is that open to the public or is it a private event?
There is some tickets that are open for the public. Access to that is very limited. They haven't necessarily publicly made it the
Okay.
announcement, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to find out more information. And as I do, we'll well, that's okay. You don't have to find it. We'll be able to get it announced on some of our shows as the date gets closer to the showcase. Um, they're not even leaking exactly where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
All right. So
we're
mum's the word.
yeah, we're trying to find it out, especially given the entire dismantling of the Roughnecks at this point. I don't know if we're just down to the R or just next. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I do know that UFL is here. I think it's here to stay. I'm looking forward to seeing what they got, and I'm hoping that this season separates the boys from the men,
Right.
and our fan bases grow, and we become more unified as an alternative to the main stage that is NFL.
I would say I feel closer after this year than the first year. I think the teams have unified and we realize it's not the success of just one team, but it's the success of the league that we need to focus on. It's not just one coach or a handful of players. It's together we have to
Right.
succeed. Because if we're just only focusing on attendance or only focusing on numbers or only focusing on scoring, it's not going to work. It's a
Right.
team effort. It's almost like a family. We have to support each other. And that's the only way this is going to work.
Yeah, I know that we've got the Bermuda Triangle of rivalries going on down here. It's funny because with us being the only team in the USFL conference, I
Mhm.
feel like we need to step up and represent a little bit more. And I know that with San Antonio, they got in the playoffs. It was an amazing feat. I was very proud to see that it was a team from Texas that got in there. And the highlights. I could go on and on. Meeting AJ McCarron's mom. Seeing Kirkland again. I
Right.
mean, the Coach Wade salsa.
That's right.
Can't live that down. I'm waiting
I
to see
can't
what the
even
other
erase
coaches
that out of my
do.
mind even if I wanted to. Can't.
It's permanently embedded.
Oh, yeah, it's there.
I mean, are you going to be making your way down this weekend for the showcase?
I don't think I'll be able to make it this weekend, but all my thoughts and positive thoughts and prayers are heading down to Houston this
There
weekend.
you go. There you go. If anybody in the San Antonio area does want to make a road trip down for the showcase, please reach out on Mr. and Mrs. Predator Couple Facebook page. Let us know you're coming. We are happy to host you. and hopefully get some inside information from you guys. Some thoughts, fan reactions would be amazing to have for next week so we can come back and go, hey, what'd you guys do? And I can look at y'all and go, I went, no, I'm drinking margaritas in Puerto Vallarta. So have a good time.
There you go.
Um, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I know Amanda is going to be joining us next week, right? Do you have any last final thoughts, Miss RC?
No, I just continue to share and like us. Tell your family, friends, neighbors all about the Fuel Network. I know that I'm talking to a couple of people, and we're going to start talking about female flag football and the different universities that actually offer scholarships. So after we get through this UFL and kind of wrap that up, those are some things that we're going to be talking about. So I'm passionate about this. I've mentioned this before. There's a lot of females out there who love to play sports, love to play football, but unfortunately, there's not enough scholarships for them to continue that into their college years. And they sometimes have to change sports or change the direction because they want to continue playing football. Now there's an opportunity for women to continue playing the sport they love, continue to get educated, become professional, and I'm just super excited to bring that to all of you.
Right. And please spread the word. Let them know. You can catch us on, let's see, fuelsportsnetwork.com. You can find us on Amazon Fire TV. You can grab us on your Amazon Fire Stick and on your Roku TV device. So please spread the word. Look, there it all is right there for you guys. Check it out. Okay. Make sure that y'all are spreading the word. Let them know. And please keep us in mind as your Women Crush Wednesday here on the ATeam. We love having you guys. We love talking football. Give us your comments. Give us your suggestions. Tell us what you want to see next. We're happy to make that happen for you guys. At the end of the day, it is Amber. It is RC and Amanda. We love you. I hope everything's good for you today, babes. We got your back. We got your six. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful time. Be safe.
Bye.